Selected Shorts, a celebration of the short story. The readings you're about to hear were performed and recorded live at Symphony Space in New York City. Next, we hear Hattie Winston reading a story by Toni Cade Bambara, Gorilla, My Love.
That was the year Hunka Bubba changed his name. It's not a change up, but a change back, since Jefferson Winston Vale was the name in the first place, which was news to me, 'cause he'd been my Hunka Bubba my whole lifetime, since I couldn't manage Uncle to save my life. So, far as I was concerned, it was a change completely to something sounding very geographical weather-like to me. Something you'd find in an almanac, or something you'd run across when you're sitting in the navigator seat with a wet thumb on the map, crinkly in your lap, watching the road signs. So when Granddaddy Vale say, "Which way, Scout?" you got sense enough to say, "Take the next exit," or "Take a left," or whatever it is. Not that Scott's my name, just the name Granddaddy called whoever's sitting in the navigator seat, which is usually me, 'cause I don't figure sitting in the back with the pecans. Now, you figure pecans are all right to be sitting with. Well, if you think so, that's your business. But they dusty sometimes, and they make you cough. And they got a way of sliding around and dipping down sudden, like maybe a rat's in the buckets. So if you're scary like me, you sleep with the lights on, and you blame it on baby Jason, and so as not to waste good electric, you study the maps. And that's how come I'm in the navigator seat most times and get to be called Scout. So, Hunka Bubba in the back with the pecans, and baby Jason, and he in love. And we got to hear all this stuff about this woman he in love with and all, which really ain't enough to keep the mind alive. Though baby Jason got no better sense than to give his undivided attention and keep grabbing at the photograph, which is just a picture of some skinny woman in a countrified dress with a hand shot up to her face like she's shamed for cameras. But there's a movie house in the background which I ask about, 'cause I am a movie freak from way back, even though it do get me in trouble sometimes. Like when me and Big Brood and baby Jason was on our own last Easter and couldn't go to the Dorset 'cause we'd seen all the Three Stooges they was. And the RKO Hamilton was closed, readying up for the Easter pageant that night. And the West End, the Regent, and the Sunset was too far unless we had grown-ups with us, which we didn't. So, we walk up Amsterdam Avenue to the Washington, and Gorilla, My Love playing, they say. Which suit me just fine, though the My Love part kind of dragged Big Brood some. As for baby Jason, shoot, like Granddaddy say, he follow me into the fiery furnace if I say, "Come on." So we go in and we get 3 bags of Havmo potato chips, which not only are the best potato chips, but the best bags for blowing up and busting real loud. So the matron come trotting down the aisle with her chunky self, flashing that flashlight dead in your eye so you can give her some lip. And if she answer back and you already finished seeing the show anyway, why then you just turn the place out. Which I love to do. No lie, no lie. With baby Jason kicking in the seat in front, egging me on, and Big Brood mumbling about what fearsome things we gonna do, which means me. Like when the big boys come up on us talking about, "Lend me a nickel," it's me that had the money. And when the bad boys in the park take Big Brood's Spalding away from him, it's me that jump on their back and fight a while. And it's me that turns out the show if the matron get too salty. So, the movie come on, and right away, it's this churchy music. and clearly not about no gorilla. It's about Jesus, and I am ready to kill. Not because I got anything against Jesus. It's just that when you fix to watch a gorilla picture, you don't want to get messed around with Sunday school stuff. So I am mad. Besides, we see this raggedy old brown film, King of Kings, every year, and enough's enough. Now, grown-ups figure they can treat you just anyhow, which burns me up. There I am, my feet up, and my half-mo potato chips really salty and crispy, and 2 jawbreakers in my lap, and the money safe in my shoe from the big boys, and here come this Jesus stuff. So, we all go wild, yelling and booing and stomping and carrying on. It's really to wake that man up in the booth up there who must have went to sleep and put on the wrong reels. But no, because he hollered down to shut up. And then he turned the sound up, so we really got to holler like crazy to even hear ourselves good. And the matron ropes off the children's section and flashes her light all over the place. And we yell some more, and some kids slip under the rope and run up and down the aisle just to show it take more than some dusty old velvet rope to tie us down. And I'm flinging the kid in front of me's popcorn, and baby Jason kicking seats, and it's really something. Then here come the big and bad matron, the one they let out in case of emergency. And she toting that flashlight like she gonna use it on somebody. This here, the colored matron Brandy, and her friends call her Thunderbuns. She don't play. She do not smile. She do not play. So we shut up and watch the simple ass picture. Which is not so simple as it is stupid. Because I realize that just about anybody in my family is better than this God they always talking about. My daddy wouldn't stand for nobody treating any of us that way. My mama especially. And I can just see it now. Big brood up there on the cross talking about, forgive them, Daddy, because they don't know what they're doing. And my mama say, get on down from there, you big fool. What you think this is, playtime? And my daddy yelling to granddaddy to get him a ladder because Big Brood acting the fool. Well, his mother's side of the family showing up. And my mama and her sister Daisy jumping on them Romans, beating them with their pocketbooks. And Uncle Bubba telling them folks on their knees they better get on out their way and go get some help or they're gonna get trampled on. And Granddaddy Vale say, leave the boy alone. If that's what he wants to do with his life, we ain't got nothing to say about it. And then ain't days to give him a taste of that pocketbook, fussing about what a damn fool old man Granddaddy is. And then everybody jumping in his chest like the time Uncle Clayton went in the army and come back with only one leg, and Granddaddy say something stupid about, that's life. And by this time, Big Brood off the cross and in the park playing handball or scully or something. And the family in the kitchen throwing dishes at each other, screaming about, if you hadn't done this, I wouldn't have to do that. And me in the parlor trying to do my arithmetic, yelling, shut it off. Which is what I was yelling all by myself, which make me a sitting target for Thunderbuns. But when I yell, we want our money back, that gets everybody in chorus. And the movie winding up with this heavenly cloud music, and the smart ass up there in the hole in the wall turns up the sound again to drown us out. Then there comes Buzz Bunny, which we already seen, so we know we've been had. No gorilla mind nothing. And Big Bruce say, "Ah, shit, we gonna see the manager and get our money back." And I know from this weed business. So I brushed the potato chips off my hair, which is where baby Jason had to put them. And I marched myself up the aisle to deal with the manager, who is a crook in the first place for lying about they saying Gorilla My Love playing. And I never did like the man because he oily and pasty at the same time. Like the bad guy in the serial, the one that got to hide out behind a push-button bookcase and play Moonlight Sonata with gloves on. I knock on the door, and I am furious. And I am alone, too. Because Big Bruce suddenly got to go so bad, even though my mama told us about going in them nasty bathrooms. And I hear him sigh like he disgusted when he gets to the door and see only a little kid in there. And then I'm really furious because I get so tired of grown-ups messing over kids just because they little and can't take them to court. What is it he say to me like I lost my mittens or wet on myself or am somebody's retarded child, when in reality I am the smartest kid PS 186 ever had in its whole lifetime, and you can ask anybody. Even them teachers that don't like me because I won't sing them southern songs or back off when they tell me my questions are out of order. And because my mama come up there in a minute, when them teachers start playing the dozens behind colored folks, she stalk in with her hat pulled down bad. And that Persian lamb coat draped back over one hip on account of she got her fist planted there so she can talk that talk. Which gets us all hypnotized. And teacher be coming undone because she knows this could be her job and her behind. Because mama got pulled with the board and bad by her own self anyhow. So I kicked the door open wider and just walked right by him and sit down and tell the man about himself and that I want my money back, and that goes for baby Jason and Big Brew too. And he's still trying to shuffle me out the door even though I'm sitting, which shows him for the fool he is. Just like them teachers do. For they realize mama like a stone on that spot and ain't backing up. So, he ain't getting up off the money. So, I am forced to leave, taking the matches from under his ashtray and set a fire under the candy stand, which closed the raggedy old Washington down for a week. My daddy had to suspect it was me, 'cause Big Brood got a big mouth. But I explained right quick what the whole thing was about, and I figured it was even Steven. 'Cause if you say Gorilla My Love, you're supposed to mean it. Just like when you say you're gonna give me a party on my birthday, you gotta mean it. And if you say me and baby Jason can go south pecan or hauling with Granddaddy Vale, you better not come up with no stuff about the weather look uncertain, or did you mop the bathroom, or any other trick-to-five business. I mean, even gangsters in the movies say, my word is my bond. So don't nobody get away with nothing, far as I'm concerned. So, Daddy put his belt back on, 'cause that's the way I was raised. Like my mama say in one of them situations, when I won't back down, okay, Bad Bird, you right. Your point is well taken. Not that Bad Bird's my name. It's just what she say when she tired of arguing and knowing I'm right. And Aunt Joe, who is the hardest head in the family, and worse even than Aunt Daisy, she say, you absolutely right, Miss Muffin, which also ain't my real name. But the name she gave me one time when I got some medicine shot in my behind and wouldn't get up off her pillows for nothing. And even Granddaddy Vale, who got no memory to speak of. So sometimes you can just plain lie to him if you want to. I mean, if you want to be like that, he said, well, if that's what I said, then that's it. But this name business was different, they said. It wasn't like Hunker Bubba had gone back on his word or anything. It's just that he was thinking about getting married and was using his real name now, which ain't the way I saw it at all. So, there I was in the navigator's seat, and I turned to him and just plain old asked him. I mean, I come right on out with it. I mean, it's no sense going around the barn the old folks talk about. And like my mama say, Hazel, which is my real name, and what she remembers to call me when she being serious. When you got something on your mind, speak up and let the chips fall where they may. And if anybody don't like it, you tell them to come see your mama. And Daddy look up from the paper and say, you hear your mama good, Hazel, and tell them to come see me first. Like that. That's how I was raised. So, I turned clear around in the navigator's seat and say, look here, Hunker Bubba, or Jefferson Winston Vale, or whatever your name is, you gonna marry this girl? Sure am, he says and grins. And I say, remember that time you was babysitting me when we lived at 409? And there was this big snow, and Mom and Daddy got held up in the country, so you had to stay for 2 days. And he said, sure do. Well, you remember how you told me I was the cutest thing that ever walked the earth? Oh, you were real cute when you were little, he said, which is supposed to be funny. Well, I am not laughing. Well, you remember what you said? And Granddaddy Vale squinting over the wheel and asking, which way, Scout? But Scout is busy and don't care if we all get lost for days. What you mean, Peaches? My name is Hazel. And what I mean is, you said you were going to marry me when I grew up. You were going to wait. That's what I mean, my dear Uncle Jefferson. And he don't say nothing. Just look at me real strange, like he never saw me before in his life. Like he lost in some weird town in the middle of the night and looking for directions and there's no one to ask. Like it was me that messed up the maps and turned the road post round. Well, you said it, didn't you? And baby Jason looking back and forth like we playing ping pong. Only I ain't playing. I'm hurting. I can hear that I'm screaming. And Granddaddy Vale mumbling, how are we never gonna get to where we're going if I don't turn around and take my navigator job serious? Well, for crying out loud, Hazel, you just a little girl and I was just teasing, and I was just teasing. I say back just like he said it, so he can hear what a terrible thing it is. And then I don't say nothing. And he don't say nothing. Baby Jason don't say nothing nohow. Then Granddaddy Vale speak up. Well, look here, precious. It was Hunker Bubba what told you them things. This here is Jefferson Winston Vale. And Hunker Bubba said, that's right. That was somebody else. I'm a new somebody. You a lying dog, I say. When I meant to say treacherous dog, but I just couldn't get hold of the word. It slipped away from me. And I was crying and crumbling down in the seat and just don't care. And Granddaddy said to hush up and steps on the gas. I'm losing my bearings and don't even know where to look on the map because I can't see for crying. And baby Jason crying too. Because he's my blood brother and understands that we must stick together or be forever lost. What with grown-ups playing change up and turning you round every which way so bad. And don't even say they're sorry.